Yes, sir!
So Mike Tyson just attacked Jake Paul during an intense face-off backstage at a private boxing event, and let me tell you, it has taken the entire boxing world by storm. Yeah, things quickly went off the rails when Mike and Jake went toe-to-toe, and Tyson wasn't exactly keeping his hands to himself. The two were facing off ahead of their highly anticipated fight on November 15th, 2024, and of course, it was Jake being Jake who crossed the line. The YouTuber turned boxer, always looking for that viral moment, started off with his usual trash talk, but this time, he poked the bear a little too hard. He taunted Tyson with cheap shots about his age, calling him washed up, and saying that the YouTube generation would take over boxing for good. Tyson, already done with the antics, snapped and lunged at Jake, throwing punches before security even had time to react. It wasn't just a heated argument, it turned into a full-blown brawl that had people scrambling to break them apart. Jake, who looked so confident just moments earlier, was now trying to dodge Tyson's rage. And let's be real, you could see the panic on his face as Tyson closed in. So how serious was the brawl, and what does it mean for their upcoming fight? Let's break it down. Alright, it all went down at a private event in Orlando where Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, two of the biggest names in boxing and entertainment, were set to meet. Now the second fans saw headlines about these two being in the same place, they just knew something was about to pop off. I mean, come on! And Mike in one room, there was no way this was going to end quietly.
Orlando, we're here, baby. Time to handle business. Let's go!
So, Jake rolls in, doing what he does best, in full drip and swagger, showing off that signature cocky grin. He was dressed to the nines, wearing shades indoors, and you could tell by the look on his face that he came up with a plan. Stir up trouble, grab some headlines, and get everyone talking. Classic Jake, right? He wasn't there to make peace or share pleasantries. No, he was ready to push buttons, and he had Mike Tyson in his sights. When Jake and Mike came face to face, you could feel the tension in the air. It was one of those moments where you just know something's going to go wrong. Fans watching the event live were already on the edge of their seats. The face-off was supposed to be just a quick meetup to promote their highly anticipated bout coming up in November. But of course, it wouldn't be a Jake Paul event without him taking things too far. The trash talking started. At first, it was the usual back and forth, hyping up the fight, boosting those PPV sales, you know the deal. Anything to get more eyeballs on the screen. But here's the thing, Jake doesn't know when to stop. He kept pushing, kept poking at Mike, trying to get a reaction out of the legend, and boy, did he ever. Jake was throwing jabs about Mike being past his prime, talking about how he was the new face of boxing and how the YouTube generation was going to take over the sport. He even had the nerve to call Mike washed up, which was probably the last thing he should have said. At first, Mike was cool and composed, just standing there with that deadpan look, staying calm and composed, like he's done a million times before. But you could see it in his eyes. Jake was getting under his skin. And when you see a guy like Mike Tyson, who's usually cool and collected, starting to crack, you just know something bad is about to happen. The moment Jake went too far, it was over. Mike's expression changed in a split second, and without warning, he snapped. That's when things took a wild turn. Tyson lunged at Jake and threw his signature punch, and it all happened so fast that even the security team didn't have time to react. Jake, who was laughing just a second earlier, didn't look so cocky anymore. He was dodging for his life, trying to avoid the wrath of Tyson, but he wasn't quick enough. Tyson managed to land one good shot, and if you happen to see Jake walking around with a black eye anytime soon, just go ahead and assume where it came from. The room erupted into chaos. Security rushed in from all directions, pulling Tyson back and trying to separate the two before things got even more out of hand. Fans at the event were in shock, some pulling out their phones, others just staring, trying to process what just happened. Jake? Yeah, he wasn't looking too good. His face went from confident to panicked real quick, and honestly, who can blame him? When Mike Tyson throws punches, you know it's serious. The problem child was trying to play it cool afterward, but let's be real, the guy looked rattled. You could see him touching his face, checking for damage, trying to act like it was all part of the show, but nah, this wasn't part of the plan. Tyson wasn't playing games. Jake's usual antics had finally pushed the wrong buttons, and he was paying the price for it. Get this, it doesn't end here. Instantly after the brawl, the problem child took to Instagram to unleash his unfiltered thoughts. It wasn't long after the chaos in Orlando that Jake hopped on social media, posting a series of Instagram stories where he seemed to completely lose his mind. I mean, seriously, this dude was on a rampage. Story after story, Jake was going off, promising, no swearing, that he's going to take Mike Tyson down on fight night. With the camera inches from his face, Jake was hyped up, his usual smirk replaced by a look of pure determination. He kept saying things like, "Y'all think think Mike Tyson's some kind of invincible legend? Nah, he's just washed, and I'm about to prove it. He didn't stop there. Oh no, Jake doubled down, calling Tyson old news and claiming that the fight on November 15th would be the beginning of the end for the boxing legend. Now, Jake wasn't done stirring the pot. He went on to brag about how his generation is changing the game and how Tyson's time has come and gone. These boomers don't even know what's coming, he said, sounding more fired up than ever. He's convinced that he's about to make history by defeating Tyson in the ring, and he's not shy about it. Let's be real though, fans weren't exactly buying what Jake was selling. The comments on his stories were blowing up, with people trolling him hard, posting things like, "Bro, you barely survived the face-off. What makes you think you're gonna survive the fight?" Others were quick to remind him that Tyson's punches aren't just for show. One user hilariously commented, "Can't wait for Jake to do a reaction video from the hospital bed after Mike's done with him." The internet is brutal, and Jake's confidence wasn't winning over many people this time around. But Jake, he doesn't care. He thrives on this kind of attention. The more people doubted him, the louder he got. He was completely in his element, taunting Tyson and making bold claims that he's going to knock him out cold on fight night. "November 15th, I'm going to be the guy who retires Mike Tyson once and for all," he declared in one of his stories, looking straight into the camera like he's about to go to war. Even though he was trying to hype himself up, you could see that hint of insecurity behind Jake's eyes. The reality of going up against a living legend like Mike Tyson is sinking in, but Jake's doubling down on his bravado, hoping that confidence will carry him through. He kept repeating, "I'm the problem child, I was born for this," as if saying it over and over again would make it true. The whole thing was wild to watch, and it's safe to say Jake's followers were eating it up, whether they were laughing at him or cheering him on.
You had to go on your little menopause break and postpone the fight, so yeah. What about that, dog? I was ready before. You needed a little break. Your tummy hurt? Your tummy hurt still? History, this is what it's all about for me, man. I'm a kid from Ohio.
Tyson, though, he didn't even flinch. It's like he knew exactly what Jake was trying to do, and he wasn't going to give him the satisfaction of a reaction. Tyson's been in this game for decades, and he knows how to handle trash talkers like Jake. While Jake was losing his cool, Tyson was just sitting back letting Jake dig his own hole. But make no mistake, Tyson's not someone you want to underestimate, especially in the ring. Jake might have gotten under his skin with all this talk about his health, but come fight night, Tyson's going to let his fists do the talking. Jake's brash personality took him down once again because hype wasn't the only thing he got out of this recent brawl. Yeah, turns out he was hurt. The YouTuber turned boxer had to be rushed straight to the hospital where things didn't quite go his way. The hype for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is off the charts, and after this wild face-off, it's only gotten crazier. Seriously, tickets are selling like hotcakes. People can't get enough of this matchup. And let's not forget, Tyson already gave Jake a little sneak peek of what is going to come when he landed that punch at the face-off. Fans are buzzing, and the internet is blowing up with theories, predictions, and memes. Everyone's wondering, is Jake really ready for a fighter like Tyson, or is he about to get wrecked? This fight is about to be next level, and with all the drama leading up to it, the anticipation is through the roof. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how everything plays out. So, that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on this recent brawl? Fill the comment section with your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, peace out.